Okay, come on, just do your thing. Going live, it says. And welcome to another day in the Milky Way, everybody. And for all you that watch it later, welcome. And tonight we got another great show for you. It's going to be Native American Myths and Legends at number 9. Believe it or not, we've done quite a few of these shows. And my special guest, David Null, Hawkeye Two Feathers, here for another great Myths and Legends show. We're going to have history. We're going to have myths and legends. Don't you worry. We're going to keep you entertained for a good hour. So, and what do we got picked out tonight?
Greetings and blessings, everybody. Before and after or present time.
Oh, there we got people coming in. I knew I was linked up. Yes, greetings and blessings.
Yeah,
I love that part.
Yeah, we've been all over this book since we started this, and tonight I had kind of sort of a vision, if you will, in that last night I did a show and I pulled 3 cards, and one of them was Coyote upside down. So today and earlier I was thinking, what would be a good thing? And I said, well, we should do Coyote stories, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, not knowing that there was a section about Coyote, that's what we're going to do tonight. So
absolutely.
But anyway.
Great. How's now that it's Thanksgiving, you got big plans for Thanksgiving coming up?
Who, me?
Yeah. You're gonna have some dinner?
I plan to wake up.
Good one.
I plan to wake up, but no, I don't have any plans. My truck's still on the fritz, so I've been at the mercy of other people's rides here the last couple of weeks, but I'm still hoping that my truck will get fixed. But no, I don't have any plans. So I'm going to be. There have been several Thanksgivings in the past where I kind of fast for the day of Thanksgiving to give blessings to those who don't have much to eat, So rather than sit down and eat a big meal, I have opted to be a monk on those days and sort of fast, and people go, well, that just sounds stupid. But, well, in my world, it's like, pray for those who don't have,
Well, absolutely. That's the thing. You got your own little rituals. Everybody's got their own little rituals of what to do. Some people eat turkey. Some people have big dinners. Some people go visiting. I remember back in the day, I was always this single young guy. I'd go from house to house and, I got invited over here, invited over there. And we would have, oh my gosh, I remember I'd have 2 or 3 Thanksgiving dinners in a day. Man, could I eat.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I was there too, so I understand it. But in my later years, I was like, there are so many people, and I used to be one of them, that would overeat on Thanksgiving. And so my Thanksgiving was, for those folks who didn't have enough to eat or who didn't have anything to eat. And so I just made it my own personal thing to, fast on Thanksgiving. So that was my honor to the universe. And it might be that that's what happens this Thanksgiving, but anyway.
Yeah.
It's just a personal thing that I have done for many years. So, but.
Yeah. Each person's like Christmas. I think I got to work Christmas this year, but hey, it is what it is. So, but I got Thanksgiving off and I'm going to make the best of it. I got a 4-day weekend. And, it's going to be a lot of fun and hey,
good.
But the weather's been really good here. I don't know what it's there, but for being up north, it's great. I mean, it's like light jacket weather lately in the last couple of days.
Well, it's going to be frost on the pumpkin down here tonight. Mm-hmm. So for South Georgia, it's not really the worst, but it's our first, sure enough, low 30s. And it's was hovering right around 40 when I came in from the house just about an hour ago. So the temperature is surely dropping. And I got the heater going and wood in the fireplace and that kind of thing. So,
yeah, I love having a wood stove.
Yeah, The only thing I don't miss is cutting firewood. The older I get, it's just getting more tougher, you know, but I'm still good with it, at least for now, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know my dad, he's in this mid to late 70s there, and he goes out and he cuts a lot of wood. Believe it or not. A lot. I mean, I'm talking, they got one of the big giant stoves and he cuts a lot of wood. I got to hand it to him. He's like a Paul Bunyan, you know, at his age, he's tough as nails. So shout out to you, Dad. Ma, hey, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving to you. I know they're going to be watching. I know they don't watch the live stream, but the next day they are sitting on the couch or and watching the show. They put it on the big screen TV there, and hello, happy Thanksgiving.
Yep, happy Thanksgiving, Mom, Pa, and keep that firewood going.
That's absolutely for sure. Ooh, I forgot to hit this button. Anyway. Yeah, I want to get some of this on record. Anyway, okay. Well, I got stuff picked out here, and my stuff is going to be about horsemen. Horsemen of the plains, because everybody loves horses, don't they? I know. I think it's Jill Jarrett. She did horses, or she likes horses or something. Jill, are you the one? I like the fasting on Thanksgiving. Jill Jarrett's in the house. Well, hello, everybody. Yeah, Jill Jarrett. Yeah, are you told me about the horse? Weren't you did the horses, or was it Renee Hutchinson? I can't remember. And we got Delaney Pearl Jones and Alexander the Ganja Shaman is in the house too. Witchy Moon's in the house. Max G is in the house, and 09 Cat 2. Am I saying that right? And Cat 2, okay, How 2. Well, anyway. I'm really bad at names. Heck, I couldn't even learn my name. So
that was a tongue twister.
Yeah, Deborah Truax. Deborah, I haven't seen you around in a while, but thank you for coming. I hope everything is well and dandy in your life and much favor to you. All right. So anyway, back with the horseman. Now, I'm a horseman. I know all about horses. I trimmed horses. I rode horses. I broke horses. I gave trail rides. I had wagons. I had teams of horses. You name it, I did it with the horse. That was back in the day, and I still am dang good with a horse, believe it or not. Okay, so here's my thing. Now you're going to do Coyote. I don't know. I got the horses tonight. I don't know who's better. Is there even a card for a horse?
Yes.
There is a horse card.
Yes, I pulled it last night, actually, early this morning. And wow. The horse card is the power card because of, the shamans, when horses were introduced to North America, it was their way of flying on the back of a horse. And so, but, I could read about horse. I think it would be an interesting follow-up because you chose horse tonight and I picked that card last night. That's an interesting synchronicity, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, which was early this morning, which is still today.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Could you read that card later?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to read this, and here we go. Okay, and it's got pictures, so I'll show you the pictures. This is a picture of it. They showed of the horse people. And so you get the whole scoop.
Enchilada.
Yeah. Because he blocked the westward path that looms so large in nation's destiny, the red man of the Great Plains has become the popular mind, the American Indian, and what revolutionized his life and made him a formidable foe was the coming of the horse. In the prehistoric past, small horses ranged across the West, but soon after man reached the Western Hemisphere, they became extinct. Not until the Europeans came did the Indians see their first horses. For many, it was a terrifying experience. Mounted Spanish conquistadors seemed to be invincible centaurs. Horses were enemies, to be killed in battle like their riders, and a captured horse was often slaughtered by the Indians who could think of nothing better to do with the beast than eat it. Not long after the Spaniards colonized New Mexico in 1598, however, the Apaches realized the true value of the animals and began to trade and raid at the Rio Grande settlements for horses of their own. By purchase and theft, horses passed northward from tribe to tribe. It usually took a generation for a tribe to adapt itself to the use of a horse, but by the early 18th century, explorers on the Great Plains found that many Indians already mounted and seemingly born to ride. Plains Indians had long used domesticated dogs to pull travois, drag litters made of teepee poles. Initially, the horse to some tribes was merely a big dog, but it soon revolutionized hunting methods and increased the intensity of tribal warfare. To nomadic people accustomed to traveling on foot, it became a status symbol, a trophy to be stolen in a display of daring, or even a medium of exchange to barter for a wife. Isn't that what we talked about last time, where they would, what do we call it? Cooping. I thought about that all week long, cooping.
Yes, absolutely. And, it was a great honor for them to, count coup when they could steal a horse in broad daylight. It was one of the stories that I read where a young brave, stole a horse in broad daylight in front of the tribe and everybody. And, it made him famous for what he did because they wrote a story about him. But, but yes.
All right. I got enough. Oh, we got Organic Intelligence is in the house. Thank you for coming. I seen her earlier. Hey, and Lucky Stone is in the house. Oh, yeah. The Soul Tribe is prospering, and so is Lucky Stone. Thank you. And let's see. I didn't miss anybody here. Deborah Truax says Cheyenne Indians believed that horses with spots on their head and chest would bring victory in battle. Very interesting. Huh. Wow. She has a dog resistance training pulling me around on walks. How big is your dog? Yeah, big dog. Okay, here we go. We got buffalo. Of course, we did the white buffalo a while back. Yep. But and it was about the buffalo. They survived around the buffalo. So here we go with the buffalo. Tonight seems to be all about animals. Go figure. Okay, buffalo and the Indian. Lashed by winter, blend of fierce wind of the North Plains, where the woolly hide of one becomes a coat of the other. A Crow woman carries firewood to her teepee in Montana River. A buffalo finds grass beneath the snow in Yellowstone National Park. If ice coats the snow, bison will with bloody their muzzles, trying to break through to food. Unlike horses, they are not adept to pawing for grass through ice-crusted snow. Indians of northern tribes usually left the open plains in the late fall, setting up winter camps with sometimes stretched for miles along broad timber river valleys. They scattered their teepees amid the trees. Bands with large herds of horses might move several times to find new grazing patches, and stands of cottonwood whose bark became fodder and whose stripped branches provided firewood. When snow lay deep, horses floundered, and they were useless, with some froze to death. Men then reverted to hunting afoot, driving buffalo into hobbling drifts of stalking deer, elk, or mountain sheep. Severe winters thwarted even small game hunting, and the band subsided on stores of dried meat. But starvation even threatened in 1846. The Assinebone, after devouring their horses and dogs, resorted to cannibalism. Counting the long, dark days on notched sticks, Indians sought signs of winter's end and burrowing embryos in the slain buffalo cows with cracking of the river ice, the northward flight of geese. Then at last came the answer to an ancient prayer. May I see the spring. And here's the pictures I got. And there's the buffalo. Oops. Yeah, there we go. So I move it one way and I want to move it right and it goes left, you know?
Yep.
Oh, anyway, there's that. And there's something else here about the buffalo. There's a various tribes during the ages. Oh, okay. Here is this one. Okay, we're going to keep going on this. Just a little bit more here. Acquisition, and this goes back to the horses by various tribes during the 1650s. Spaniards were trading horses of the plains Apaches at Pecos in exchange for their Wichita slaves. In 1687, white men in East Texas watched Indians lancing buffalo from horseback. In 1739, French traders saw horses brought to the Mandan villages by nomadic Indians, presumably from farther south. Tribes of the Northwest Plains had the horse before Anthony Henday, the first white man to visit the Gros Ventre, accompanied some of them on a buffalo hunt in 1754 and praised their skills as horsemen. Surely, the Crow on the Yellowstone had owned horses for several generations before the first white man penetrated their country. In 1805, by 1800, the horse frontier reached the northeastern border of the Great Plains. To the nomadic tribes, the horse was a godsend. Indeed, most of my aged Blackfoot informants offered mythological explanations of how their tribe had been blessed with this gift. Horsepower enabled Indians to move farther, faster, with much heavier loads, packing 200 pounds on its back or hauling 300 pounds on a travois. A horse could move 4 times the burden of a heavy loaded dog and could travel twice as far in a day. And a horse could save lives. A Pawnee chief told a French trader in 1724 of his tribe's desperate need for the horse, because our wives and children die underneath the burden of moving camp. The aged and infirm, transported on horse-drawn litters, also better survive the rigors of travel. Since the horse could drag longer and heavier lodge poles, Indians could erect larger homes. Now 11 or 12 buffalo hides were needed to cover the average teepee. Today, trailer campers will recognize what happened next. The ability to carry more belongings dramatically changed the Indian camper's way of life. So basically, it goes together with the Indians and the buffalo, and they're kind of all put together. You got the Indians, the horses, and the buffalo, and they needed the horses to carry all that stuff, and they could also hunt the buffalo faster and better, you know.
And safer.
Well, yeah, safer.
And safer, because they could outrun the buffalo, sneak up on the buffalo, but it was safer. You know, there were fewer tramplings. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But
yes.
here's the thing about. If you don't mind, I want to read this about the power of the horse from the.
Oh, absolutely! I'm pretty good here.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good.
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no. I pick out a few things here, and you know that's my history part. You know me, I'm all about history.
But see, it also follows up though on what we talked about the last show and the one before, where we talked about buffalo as the giver and so forth. But anyway, horse in the cards is number 35, and it's medicine is power. Mighty horse, power to run across the open plains, or bring the vision of the shields dancing in purple dream rain. Stealing horses is stealing power, was the statement made frequently. I got to do my double glasses here. This print's much smaller. Hang on a sec. It was a statement made frequently in historical Native Americans and reference to the esteemed role which the horse played in Native cultures. Horse's physical power and unearthly power. In shamanic practices throughout the world, horse enabled shamans to fly through the air and reach heaven. Humanity made a great leap forward when horse was domesticated. a discovery akin to that of fire. Before horse, humans were earthbound. Now, just like you were talking about, heavy laden and slow creatures indeed. Once humans climbed on horses' back, they were as free and fleet as the wind. They could carry burdens for great distances with ease. Through their special relationship with horses, humans altered their self-concept beyond measure. Horse was the first animal medicine of civilization. Humanity owes an incalculable debt to horse and to the new medicine it brought with it. It would be a long walk to see one's brother or sister if horse had not welcomed the two-legged to ride upon its back. Today, we measure the capacity of engines with the term of horsepower, a reminder of the day when horse was an honored and highly prized partner with humanity. Dreamwalker, a medicine man, was walking across the plains to visit the Arapaho Nation. He carried with him his pipe. The feather tied into his long black hair pointed to the ground, marking him as a man of peace. Over the rise of a hill, Dreamwalker saw a herd of wild mustangs running towards him. Black Stallion approached him and asked him if he was seeking an answer on his journey. Black Stallion said, "I am from the void where the answer lives. Ride on my back and know the power of entering the darkness and finding the light." Dreamwalker thanked Black Stallion and agreed to visit him when his medicine was needed in the dream time. Yellow Stallion approached Dreamwalker next and offered to take him to the east, where illumination lives. Dreamwalker could share the answers he found there to teach and illuminate others. Once again, Dreamwalker thanked Yellow Stallion and said he would use these gifts of power on his journey. Red Stallion approached next, rearing playfully. He told Dreamwalker of the joys of balancing work and heavy medicine with the joyful experiences of play. He reminded Dreamwalker that he could better hold the attention of those he taught when humor was integrated with the lesson. Dreamwalker thanked him and promised to remember the gift of joy. Dreamwalker was nearing his destination. The Arapaho Nation was close at hand. White Stallion came to the front of the herd. Dreamwalker mounted White Stallion. White Stallion was the message carrier for all of the other horses and represented wisdom in power. This magnificent horse was the embodiment of the balanced medicine shield. No abuse of power will ever lead to wisdom. I want to read that again. No abuse of power will ever lead to wisdom, said White Stallion. You, Dreamwalker, have made the journey to heal a brother in need, to share the sacred pipe, and to heal the Mother Earth. You have the knowledge through humility that you are an instrument of great spirit. As I carry you upon my back, said White Stallion, you carry the needs of the people on yours. In wisdom, you understand that power is not given lightly, but awarded to those who are willing to carry the responsibility in a balanced manner. Dreamwalker the Shaman had been healed by the visit of the wild horses, and he knew that his purpose in coming to the Arapaho was to share these gifts with them. In understanding the power of horse, you may see how to strive for a balanced medicine shield. True power is wisdom found in remembering your total journey. Wisdom comes from remembering pathways you have walked in another person's moccasins. Compassion, caring, teaching, loving, and sharing your gifts, talents, and abilities are the gateway to power.
Wow.
How about that?
I like it. I like it.
So that really, you know, with what you were saying about the horse and so forth, I just had to read that.
That was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a really good medicine in that, you know. So the shaman, which could be any one of us, we choose the different colors of the horses are also the different colors of the medicine shield. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what it represents. Now there are different nations use different colors, but they still represent, you know, the four corners. There's all kinds of stuff in the medicine shield. But anyway, so there's that.
Nice. I like the horse stuff. I like that part where you said I guess that fits with the thing I had back here, you know. Oh, who would have thought? I just dug that one up. But anyway, you know, that power does not bring wisdom.
Right.
I like that. So you can have all the power you want, doesn't make you wise.
It's the misuse of that power that never brings wisdom.
Yes.
But to that point, yeah. So, you know, if you got a nasty boss and nobody likes in the plant, you know, he ain't done nobody any good, especially himself, because now every time this guy walks by, people just go, I hate this guy. I mean, you know, that's some negative crap that you can carry with you, you know?
Yeah.
So, but those folks who misuse power will never find wisdom. So that's an interesting statement.
Well, like they say, with great power comes great responsibility.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the words that seem to keep popping up here recently has been compassion, you know, and we just must always remember compassion. There are so many of us out there that have different points of view, but a lot of us have a very common point of view. That's why the Soul Tribe works. And you know, folks that come and visit me at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, it's just like, I'm so blessed. But there's a commonality despite wherever we're from or what our backgrounds are or where, you know, and so in that, despite our differences, despite our backgrounds, religions, or whatever, we can still find a commonality. In humanity, we've kind of sort of lost that. So the native folks knew that. They honored it along with Mother Earth and nature and creator and all that stuff. So one of the things that a lot of folks are talking about with this new age stuff is that we need to relearn that.
Well, that is so true, because, you know, you hear about this all the time where, and the things that are happening in the world where people aren't thinking about. It's like, what was it that, you know, in New York, you know, the gal was getting, you know, raped or something on the subway, and if people just watched, and it's like, oh, well, you know, or people get killed or something, and they're like, oh, the guy dies. And I remember the one where the guy died in the street and everybody just kept going. Like, is there no compassion? You know, it makes you wonder what is going on here. I mean, I'm glad to be out here out west, because like, if I have problems with my vehicle or something, people stop right away. I mean, just like that. Hey, you got problems? Can I come help? You know, do you need something? You need a ride? Anything. Holy cow, it's so fast. I just really like the people out here. When I lived in Wisconsin, not to say anything bad about Wisconsin, it wasn't quite that way when I left to come out here anymore. It was more of a dog eat dog, do your own thing. You better have a cell phone, call somebody. Whereas when I was a kid, people would stop, talk. Hey, you know, give you a ride. You need some gas. You know, I'll help you out. You got a flat tire? I'll help you out. Not anymore. So anyway, we're going to talk about Coyote tonight. And I got that pulled up somewhere here. Here we go. And Coyote is really smart and cunning, isn't he? He is the man, I swear. Or is he? Yeah, he's. I don't
know about the smart part, but he's very cunning.
Cunning. That's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
Like a little tricky there. Little
in
tricky.
The Coyote card, it says that Coyote is the only critter or person or entity or whatever, you know, to be able to get close to Great Spirit, pick his pocket, and leave Great Spirit thinking that he had just won an award. You know, by getting Coyote having picked his pocket, you know. So, but in the realm of things, so there's a lot of stories about you know, why did creator even create Coyote, you know? And it was sort of to kind of keep things like, I don't know, interesting. I'm not, you know, but anyway, so this is the prelude to the stories, but it explains a lot about the different customs and so forth about Coyote. So here we go, page 335. The part of this book is called Part 7, Coyote Laughs and Cheers. Oh, I'm sorry, and cries. Well, at times he cheers. And it's the Trickster tales. Stories about tricks and pranks, especially when played by the lowly, small, and poor on the proud, big and rich, have delighted audience from the dawn of storytelling. In Europe, Reynard the Fox, or the German Rennick Fuchs, is the trickster par excellence, whose exploits were related by illiterate storytellers on market days or written down in elaborate form by some of the world's greatest authors. The trickster is a rebel against authority and the breaker of all taboos. He is what the best behaved and the most circumspect person may secretly wish to be. He is, especially in the Western areas of North America, at the same time imp and hero, the great culture bringer who can also make mischief beyond belief, turning quickly from clown to creator and back again. In Indian America, it is not the fox, but Coyote who is the great trickster. His exploits are recounted from Alaska down to the southern deserts, from the Atlantic all the way to the Pacific coast. Raven, mink, rabbit, blue jay, and other animals also take their turn playing the prankster and the troublemaker. Besides animals, there are human or semi-human tricksters. Old Man of the Blackfeet and Crow, Iktomi, the Sioux Spider-Man, Viho or Vihio of the Cheyenne, Manabuzho of the Central Woodlands and Great Lakes regions, and Whiskey Jack of the Cree and Saltaw. Even when a tribe has another such trickster of its own, Coyote often appears as his comrade and fellow mischief maker. In the plains and plateau areas where Coyote takes center stage, most tales bear witness to his cleverness, alternating with buffoonery, his lechery, his craft in cheating and destroying his enemy, and his voracious appetite and unending need to keep poaching game. In the North Pacific coast area, the emphasis is more on the coyote's cleverness than his stupidity. Coyote often poses as a woman and marries a man, presumably to be fed and taken care of. He also transforms himself into a fish so he can steal a valuable harpoon or fish hook. His gluttony and lust are well represented too. In all regions, Coyote periodically gets his comeuppance, even if, as in one story here, it takes several lifetimes. Shorn of the various surface features from different cultures, Coyote and his kin represent the sheerly spontaneous in life, the pure creative spark that is our birthright as human beings. They want me to read that part again. Coyote and his kin represent the sheer spontaneity in life, the pure creative spark that is our birthright as human beings. Think about that. I just have to stop for a second. Pure creative spark that is our birthright. A lot of people just don't realize that. But anyway, he not only represents some primordial creativity from our earlier days, but Coyote reminds us that such celebration of life goes on today. And he calls us to join him in the frenzy. In an ordered world of objects and labels, he represents the potency of nothingness, of chaos, of freedom, a nothingness that makes something of itself. There is great power in such a being, and it has always been duly recognized and honored by Indian people. Coyote also remembers of another salient element in Indian philosophy. There is laughter amid tears, and sadness tucked away in a raucous tale. The Sioux medicine man, Lame Deer, said, "Coyote, Ictomy, and all clowns are sacred. They are a necessary part of us. A people who have so much to cry about, as Indians do, also need their laughter to survive." Now, on a personal note, when I was doing puppets at powwows and things, I had a medicine man who was supposed to be related, and I got to say, he did look like Crazy Horse. He was a descendant of Crazy Horse from the Black Hills of South Dakota, and he came to speak to the people at a powwow in Tullahoma. But he came up to me and watched me do puppet shows and so forth and tell the stories and how the children laughed. And he told me a long time ago, this was like in 2002 or something, or 2003 or 4, it's been a while. And so he told me, he said, you know, there is much laughter. And he said, you are like a Heoki. And for many years, people have told me that I have a Heoki spirit, which is much like the Trickster, much like Coyote, in that when everybody's laughing and have a good time, you know, you have to bring a little bit of, you know, solemn energy to the thing. You know, you know, hey, remember, you all sort of like my gift of, you know, fasting on Thanksgiving. Like everybody else is eating, I'm not. You know, I'm just gonna have just enough to get by. So there's got to be a, you know, a balance in this. But so the Coyote is the Heoki, in that when everybody's laughing, maybe you should remember those who can't laugh or have nothing to laugh about, or, you know, and if everybody's sad, you got to say, listen, we just can't be sad all the time. We got to find something to laugh about. So the Coyote, the Heoki, will put on a funny hat, he'll do a crazy dance, and he'll, you know, it doesn't take away the sorrow, but it will break it. So people go, you know, that, no, not that right there is funny, you know, and it'll break the sadness spell, and, or, you know,
well,
so that's
you
why
thinking
Coyote
about something else. Yeah.
Is sort of like a balance, you know? So, but anyway, I understand that myself, but to see how Coyote is pictured in so many different ways in the different stories from all around the world, it's just interesting. So, but anyway.
Oh yeah, the Coyote's always, you know, he's getting in trouble. I mean, even a real coyote is like, you know, is kind of sneaky, and he's brave. And I watch him, you know, like out here, there's coyotes and you can see them pretty often. Sometimes they're real brave and they'll come right up to you. And other times they're sneaking around the back, or, you know, they're getting your chickens or something, or, you know, they're digging through garbage, or they're, you know, catching a mouse and, you know, out in the field. It's so funny, you know, they'll pick one up and fling it in the air or whatever and chomp it down and whatever they do. But they're, you know, they're kind of loners too. I notice, you know, they kind of are lone, you know, very seldom do I see more than one or two together. They're usually all by themselves and on the run to somewhere. And I don't know, you don't know where. And then they like disappear into the brush or something, and they're gone. And I can see that's why they always talked about Coyote being like the trickster kind of thing, where he goes and he turns into a fish or a frog or a woman or something, because he can disappear into the brush and poof, he's like disappeared. Like he's not there no more.
And so it doesn't really say the Coyote's a scavenger, but he kind of sort of is, in that he will hunt things, but he will, you know, if he's got a free meal, he's going to take it, you know, thus going into the garbage and things. I mean, you know, and so it's a long history of Coyote in that, you know what I mean? So of being the lazy one. Yeah. So let's get into a story or two.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're just going to go to the next page, which is 337.
All right.
Coyote, and Ictomy or Ictomy, and the Rock. This is the White River Sioux. Coyote was walking with his friend Iktomi. Along the path stood Aya, the rock. This was not just any rock, it was special. It had those spidery lines of green moss all over it, the kind that tell a story. Aya had power. Coyote said, "Why, this is a nice looking rock. I think it has power." Coyote took off the thick blanket he was wearing and put it on the rock. "Here, Aya, take this as a present. Take this blanket, friend rock, to keep you from freezing. You must feel cold." "Wow, a giveaway," said Iktomi. "You sure are in a giving mood today, friend." It's nothing. I'm always giving things away. Aya looks real nice in my blanket." "His blanket now," said Iktomi. The two friends went on. Pretty soon, a cold rain started. The rain turned to hail. The hail turned to slush. Coyote and Iktomi took refuge in a cave which was cold and wet. Iktomi was all right. He had his thick buffalo robe, which Coyote had only his shirt, and he was shivering. He was freezing. His teeth were chattering. "Kola, a friend of mine," Coyote said to Iktomi, "go back and get me my fine blanket. I need it, and that rock has no use for it. He's been getting along without a blanket for ages. Hurry, I'm freezing." Iktomi went back to Aya saying, "Can I have that blanket back, please?" And the rock said, "No, I like it. What is given is given." Iktomi returned and told Coyote he won't give it back. "Well, that no good, ungrateful rock," said Coyote. "Has he paid for the blanket? Has he worked for it? I'll go get it myself." "Friend," said Iktomi, "Tunka, Aya, the rock, there's a lot of power there. Maybe you should let him keep it." "Are you crazy? This is an expensive blanket of many colors and great thickness. I'll go talk to him." So Coyote went back and told Aya, "Hey, rock, what's the meaning of this? What do you need a blanket for? Let me have it back right now." "No," said the rock. "What is given is given." "You're a bad rock. Don't you care if I'm freezing to death? That I'll catch cold?" Coyote jerked the blanket away from Aya and put it on. So there, that's the end of it. "By no means the end," said the rock. Coyote went back to the cave. The rain and hail stopped and the sun came out again. So Coyote and Iktomi sat before the cave, sunning themselves, eating pemmican and fry bread and wajapi, berry soup. After eating, they took out their pipes and had a smoke. All of a sudden, Iktomi said, "What's that noise?" "What noise? I don't hear anything," said Coyote. "A crashing, a rumbling, far off." "Yes, friend, I hear it now. Friend Coyote, it's getting stronger and nearer like thunder or an earthquake. It's rather strong and loud. I wonder what it could be." "I have a pretty good idea, friend," said Iktomi. Then they saw the great rock. It was Aya, rolling, thundering, crashing upon them. "Friend, let's run for it," cried Iktomi. "Aya means to kill us." The two ran as fast as they could while the rock rolled after them, coming closer and closer. "Friend, let's swim the river. The rock is so heavy, he sure can't swim," cried Iktomi. So they swam the river. But Aya, the great rock, also swam over the river as if it had been made of wood. "Friend, into the timber among the big trees," cried Coyote. "That big rock surely can't get through this thick forest." So they ran among the trees, but the huge Aya came rolling along after them, shivering and splintering the big pine trees to pieces, left and right. The two came out onto the flats. "Uh-oh," cried Ictomy Spider-Man. "Friend Coyote, this is really not my quarrel. I just remembered a pressing business to attend to. So long." And Ictomy rolled himself into a tiny ball and became a spider. He disappeared into a mouse hole. Coyote ran on and on and on, and the big rock thundered close at his heels. Then Aya, the big rock, rolled right over Coyote, flattening him out altogether. Aya took the blanket and rolled back to his own place, saying, "So there." A Wasichu rancher riding along saw Coyote laying there all flattened out. "What a nice rug," said the rancher, picking Coyote on, and took the rug home. The rancher put Coyote right in front of his fireplace. Whenever Coyote is killed, he can make himself come to life again, but it took the whole night to puff himself up into his usual self, his usual shape. In the morning, the rancher's wife told her husband, "I just saw your rug running away." Friends, hear this. Always be generous in heart. If you have something to give it forever. Told by Jenny Leading Cloud in White River Rosebud Indian Reservation, South Dakota in 1967, recorded by Richard Erdos.
That is so true. Giving is, you got to give from the heart.
And if you don't mean to give it, then don't. It's worse to give something and then regret that you did. I mean, it just is.
Yes, it is. You got to, when you give from the heart, and then give it without expecting anything, and don't look back, because you just got to keep looking forward, because other things will come to you. It's kind of that karma wheel, you know. You give and or the cup. If you, how's that work? You have a full cup, and as much as you pour out, the universe will pour back into your cup. I truly believe it.
Yeah, and it comes in the strangest of ways and places and such. It just, you know, I recently told this. I've got some friends of mine. It's their grandchildren, right? And so their grandchildren lived with them due to other family issues until they graduated high school. So we've been friends for a long time. And I recently saw my friend Dixie, and I hadn't seen her in quite a few years, right? Since she graduated and everything, you know. And so she gave me a hug and she said, "You know, Uncle Dave," that's what they call me. She says, "You know, Uncle Dave, me and my sister are so proud to have known you, because you've told us stories, and you gave us, showed us about poetry and stories and music, and we're just so grateful." And she gave me the great big hug that just, you know, went on forever. And I was like, you know, and she goes, "We think about you all the time." So here's the thing, you know, it's just in being me and the storyteller and the puppeteer and whatever, and I treated them like grandchildren or nieces or something, you know. But after all these years of not seeing either one of them, that they still hold this towards me. So you never know, when you do good things, whether or not you actually see it, it's still there in the universe. It just is, you know. It's something I just gave without ever expecting anything from these young people, you know. But the fact that they talk about Uncle Dave, you know, it's just like that to me is a blessing, you know.
Organic Intelligence says the best feeling is giving. That is so true. And you know, that's the way it is. You know, I remember back in the day, people would give me stuff when I was broke and poor, and now, you know, things have kind of situated around, and I have a little more, and I give to others. So, you know, it all works out in the end. But I think back, would I have gotten where I am if I wasn't, if I wouldn't respect that, like back in the day, you know, when people were giving to me. Now that I am doing better, I give to other people, and, you know, it works out both ways. But if I just kept everything and hoarded it, would my standard of living go down, and I would have to start all over and learn that lesson all over again.
Well, you know, there's one parable in the Bible that I've always that I have always remembered. And it has to do with, you know, there's 3 servants, and the master gives one 5 talents, one 3 talents, and the other one 1, right? So master of the house comes back and he says, okay, what you got? The first one says, I took your 5, invested it, and I got 5 more. The second one says, you gave me 3, I invested it, and I've got 3 more. And so the master of the house says, you know, what, good for you, right? So then the last one says, you know, master, you gave me 1 talent and I hid it and I kept it. So here's your talent back. And the master says, be gone from my house, right? Yeah. So the talent, I always thought back in the day when I was reading the Bible and so forth, it meant money. But actually a talent is, God gives you talents, literally talents. Yeah. Some have musical, cooking, you have talents. And if you don't use the talent that you have, or try to find more or learn more in life or whatever. So, you know, get out of my house. You know, you were just this worthless guy that just sat on your talent, didn't do anything, right? And so it's like, to me, that's like, okay, so develop your talent and more talents will develop, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And there are people who have these talents and then they don't do anything with them. I feel bad, you know, and they should. Anyway, I got some good ones for you. Elderberry says, excellent Hawkeye. Witchy Moon says, I love that Hawkeye. Thank you. And let's see what other ones there were here. I'm just trying to read that. I don't know if you could see the chat or not. But,
no, I can't.
Oh, okay. But anyway, yeah, everybody's saying that was a great story. Oh yeah. Joanne says, what if I be like Jesus and give everything I have away? Faith. See, now I don't think it's all about giving everything you have away, because then if you have nothing, then you're equal to everybody else who has nothing. I mean, and how can you help anybody if you don't have anything to help them with? If you maybe even can't even help yourself. So the object, I think, is to, you know, prop yourself up, you know, be the best person you can be. And then when you have stuff, remember to always keep giving a little bit, but not enough to break the bank or to, just put yourself in that hole. Because what good would I be if I gave everything away and, went to the streets and lived in a slum house because I had no place to stay, or a homeless shelter? How could I help people that way? How could I be nice? How could I, be with the system would be helping me then, and I wouldn't be good for anybody. I wouldn't be here.
You'd be more of a burden. Right. Understood. Yeah. But here's the thing about many native cultures. I mean, just not in America, but native cultures in that. And boy, in my older age, I really see this. There are things as like, so I have the house full of crystals and stuff and things that I've bought, presents that people have given me over the years. I can't take any of this with me, right? So the idea of gifting things to people and to, at the end of my life, have given away all my stuff versus people coming in and wanting to be vultures or whatever to pick over my stuff, I'd much prefer to be able to give it away, with respect and honor and, so I understand that part. So, but to give it away early in life and to have nothing, then what can you actually achieve to help other people with? Yeah. So for me, having a job and working 9 to 5 and that kind of thing provided me with money so that I could travel and do puppet shows basically for free, so and share that and honor people's and that kind of thing. So, but if I didn't have a job to give me gas money to go to some of these places and powwows, I wouldn't have been able to share that. I wouldn't have been able to gain the knowledge of the journey and so forth, So somewhere along the line, you got to trade, barter something in order to achieve something good in the long run. So, but yeah.
But that I noticed that, I've noticed throughout the years, that I'm kind of older, I realize how things go. And when I was young, all I wanted to do was collect stuff. And then I watch people as they get older, they, like you said, they get older and they want to give their stuff away because they know, I think in the back of their mind, I'm getting old. And I say, here, I got this and I don't use it, but it's pretty cool. And, you know, I don't know what it's for, but since you can use it, it's yours, you know, and at least, you know, it went to a good home kind of thing.
Right, so, exactly. So it's the honor given. You know, you said something earlier, and I forgot to mention it, but you know, when we think about those who came before us, and we tell their stories, and we tell that, you know, well, what it was is that people who have helped you in the past.
Yeah.
You know, when you were down and out, like people have helped me in the past. Oh my God, I would not be here. There were some really critical times of my life when people stepped in, and thank you to the spirits that they did, right? I would not be here, nor would I have my land. I almost lost the property. And so it's like, so with that, I understand that to honor these people, then I must do something. It's not for me, but it's for the people who gave me. Then it's not, some people say, well, you're paying it forward. Maybe, but I'm actually repaying those people who helped me. So I'm paying it forward. I'm helping somebody out. I'm doing something. But here's the thing, though. I'm actually repaying a debt that was given freely. If there's not really a debt, you know what I mean? But it's the idea that somebody helped me. So if I'm going to honor what they did for me, then I'm going to honor and help someone else out.
That's exactly it. Your glass is now full, and you're saying my glass is full. I'm going to spill some out and, you know, give to the next guy so his glass is full, and then he can spill some out to the next guy and the next guy and the next guy, and the universe will automatically fill you back up. But if you only have a half a glass or an empty glass, you can't spill any to the next guy, even though you want to.
Well, here's something interesting that I have noticed in my later years, right? Is that sometimes, like, the glass, you know, I had to have a full glass to share any, right? I realized that now that glass is not this great big tumbler, but is now like a cup. So what I need personally or whatever, I don't need as much in my cup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a half full glass, I look at now and go, I only actually need half of that. So I'm good with a quarter of it. So I can pour half of that half out and still have enough for me. You know, so how big the glass is, how full it is, how much you need, how much you require. You know, if anybody at all is learning, gaining any wisdom in life, they'll understand that, you know, I've seen in my own grandparents and my own pops and so forth, as they got older, they were living on fixed income, but they were always giving something to one of the kids or grandkids or something, or, you know, they were always donating something to the children's society. I mean, you know, even though they didn't really have much. And I myself see that now myself, and I go, I don't have much, but I got $10 I can spare. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Where before I might go, I don't know if I can spare $10, you know?
Yeah. But, that's exactly it. But now you're in that position, you can give that $10 where one day, you know, back in the day, you might've been the guy needing that $10. And that might've been, I know I was in that position at some times where, you know, $10 was, you know, that was like a fortune.
Right. Yep.
That made or broke, you know, made me or break me, you know, kind of thing. $10. Holy cow, you know. And that either bought gas or the chainsaw, and I could go cut some wood all day long and make some money, or $10 I didn't have, I would just sit home and do nothing because didn't have anything. But hey, that's the way it is. Let's see here. Organic Intelligence says something about mainstream is pushing for people to get rid of their stuff, calling it a minimalist. And I think, yeah, I hear that a lot. Minimalist, minimal, but what does that really mean? That's, what does a minimalist mean in your eyes?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A minimalist. What do you absolutely, what is the absolute necessities that you need to get by? That's a minimalist. So I've always thought about it because, I'm homesteading this place still after 40 years, that a minimalist is what do you absolutely need to keep you living, So there are people who say, well, there are women that I've known who, would spend their last $20 on beauty products. Mm-hmm. Well, I needed to lose some weight anyway. So they would buy $20 worth of beauty products. I've known a few women like this now, so y'all don't get riled up, but they have to have their face pretty. If I don't eat for a day or two, I could lose a pound, make me look better. So there was always this excuse to buy beauty products. And so it's like, well, but I can't live without it, to the point of literally there was this one lady that I knew, she was ready to go out and prostitute herself. So because she was out of beauty products. And I was like, now that's come on now, seriously.
Yeah.
So, but what is important to me or what is important to somebody else? But see, over the years, talking about the glass half full, what I need in my glass is a whole lot less than I thought I needed years ago. So what you need to get by kind of sort of changes, So, mm-hmm. But I've talked about this before, people swear up and down they can't get by without their cell phone. Well, okay. But then there are some people that they got a $2,000 cell phone and nothing else, So that's being a minimalist.
Well, and see the way I look at it differently though. It's like this. A minimalist, doesn't have much. You live on the bare necessities, right? And I get that. But what does living with the bare necessities do? It makes you live off of everybody else. It's kind of like this, okay? We're trying to be eco-friendly here in the US. We are trying to, recycle and all of that good stuff, right? And we're doing a pretty good job of that, except we take a lot of our garbage, like computery stuff and all that kind of stuff, and we ship it over to China, where they recycle it over there because there's a lot of waste and chemicals, and they don't dispose of it properly, but it's cheap. But we don't have the chemicals here. So are we really, eco-friendly? No. Or not? See, and that's what I'm saying. A minimalist in my eyes is, okay, I have very little in my house. I don't keep anything. I don't have anything much, blah, blah, blah. But every time I need something, I have to go get somebody else's stuff and use it, or I rent it. And and every time something breaks, now I have to depend on somebody else to fix it because I didn't get any tools. So I don't have tools. I hire somebody to fix. I don't have a lawnmower, so I hire somebody to mow my lawn. I don't have any food in the house, so I go to, and I just got very little. So I go to town and I go to the restaurant and eat. But so I'm looking like I'm a minimalist, but am I really? You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I do.
Still need all those things that you have, but for yourself, you're at your house, you don't go to town much, you have your food, you maybe can some stuff or whatever, you have your things, you have your lawnmower, your stuff like that. You're pretty self-sufficient at home, right?
Yeah, I don't have to go anywhere. I mean,
that's right. But you have a bunch of stuff, and it probably looks like a big mess.
It is.
But I'm saying is when you do need something, it's right there. you don't need to depend on anybody else, and therefore you're self-sufficient.
Yes.
And a minimalist is sufficient on everybody else so they can be minimal. That's the way I look at it. And I don't know if anybody else thinks of it like that, but I think that, it's not such a great thing.
Well, here's the thing now. I think there are layers of minimalism. You know what I mean? I've got a friend of mine who's got a house, but he just doesn't, he's not into knickknacks and stuff. Mm-hmm. But his coffee table is made out of old engine parts, and pistons and things, because he's a mechanic and was a motorcycle racer. And so, but basically he didn't have a lot of knickknacks and things and shells and stuff. He only had what he absolutely needed and didn't really see the necessity in having a bunch of other stuff. But so this idea of the tiny house, for example, now that's minimalism. Okay. But folks that have a really nice tiny house have everything they need in the tiny house. In and itself is self-sufficient. So this idea, like, for example, I had to go to town because Duggar was out of food and I needed food for the cats. I was good for maybe another month. I mean, I would be out of cigarettes and milk, and maybe run out of bread, but I still have food here. I could still exist. It would be an inconvenience to me to not have, milk for my coffee, but, so those folks who say, what is minimalism? Well, you can go so far as to where you have nothing. And then for me, I've got backup food. I've got extra stuff on the shelves. I've got canned evaporated milk if I run out of, whole milk, but I don't have a backup for Duggar for his food. You know what I mean? So me, I can get by. Him, not so much. But in the minimalism thing, I count like 1 can of food a day. Is if I have 1 can of food, no matter what kind it is, I can make something out of it. I'll survive. Most folks have to have 3 meals a day. So those folks who claim they're minimalist or have to have their 3 meals a day and their power bars and stuff like that. And it's like, so much for being a minimalist. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I that's what I'm saying, Let's see here. Travis the Brick says, I don't have milk. And Joanne Dance Gypsy says, let's talk about Satan. All I have to tell you for that, pick up your cell phone. There you go. Satan. Right there. Yes.
Satan is a creation of man, not of God.
I agree.
There you go.
And
how about another story?
What, you want to do one more? Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's do one more for tonight. I'm game. Let's do another
342.
One. Okay.
Yeah, the name of the story is Coyote and Masichu.
342. Hang on.
So for non-Indians, Wasichu is a white man. Okay. That's,
Okay.
So 342. All right. Coyote and Masichu from the Brule Sioux. There was a white man who was such a sharp trader that nobody ever got the better of him. Or so people said, until one day, a man told this Wasichu, there's somebody who can out-cheat you anytime, anywhere. Well, that's not possible, said the Wasichu. I've had a training post for many years, and I've cheated all the Indians around here. Even so, the Coyote can beat you in any deal. Let's see whether or not he can. Where is Coyote, said Wasichu. Over there, that tricky looking guy. Okay, all right, I'll try him, said Wasichu. The Wasichu trader went over to the Coyote. He said, hey, let's see you outsmart me. I'm sorry, said Coyote. I'd like to help you out, but I can't do it without my cheating medicine. Cheating medicine? Ha! Go get it. But I live miles from here and I'm on foot. But if you lend me your fast horse, maybe. Well, all right, you can borrow it. Now go on home and get your cheating medicine. Well, all right. Well, friend, I'm a poor rider. Your horse is afraid of me and I'm afraid of him. Lend me your clothes and then your horse will think that I am you. Well, all right. Here are my clothes. Now you can ride him. Now go get that medicine. I'm sure I can beat it. So Coyote rode off with the Wasichu's fast horse and his fine clothes, while the Wasichu stood there bare-assed.
Yeah.
Told the Grass Mountain, Rosebud Indian Reservation, South Dakota, 1974. So
that was really good. I like that one. That was really good. Man, oh man, oh man. Oh, that was really good. I tell you. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm glad you convinced me to get that one going. Oh, but super good, super good. You know, well, we're getting about a 10:15 on my clock and stuff. So, but anyway, and I got to go to work tomorrow. One more day, and then it's Thanksgiving. Right. And I just want to wish everybody out there a great Thanksgiving. I hope you all have the best. Either you're going to fast or you're going to have food, or, you know, give thanks to the people around you and the things that you have, because every day that you are alive, you should be thankful and grateful for everything that has come your way, good or bad. It's made you who you are. This life is an experience. And I listened to, who was it today? I listened to David Icke, and he said something like, you are the consciousness experiencing life, or something like that, and not the experience. You are not the experience. You are consciousness having an experience. I wrote it down somewhere. It was really a profound thought, because that's truly it. This is not the experience. We are experiencing things through this, right?
Right.
And so be thankful for that, no matter what it is.
Right. And remember, Thanksgiving, is always, thanks for what we have and the family and all that. But, for me, I've got family, but I might not be able to travel if my truck isn't fixed, which is okay. I'm cool with it, where before I used to get all upset and depressed. I can't go visit anybody. My truck, I don't have any money. I don't have anything, So here's the thing. You don't have to go anywhere to give thanks and honor those who came before us. Mm-hmm. And it's not just the people that are here that we share with. We should also remember those who, like my granny and my, and my uncle, my pops, that took care of me and my sister and invited us into his family. And we need to give thanks for those who came before us. Mm-hmm. And got us to this point, like you said earlier, for those of us, those who helped us get to where we are now, who helped us in times of need. If I can't go out and have a big meal with other folks, I'm going to sit down and have a hot dog with the dog. And we're going to give thanks that for all those folks that have enlightened us and given us life and brought us here to this point in this life now. And life mm-hmm. is not just today or tomorrow. It's the whole shebang, So I've spent too many years saying, I hate my life. I hate my life. And I'm so glad I got over that. You know what I mean? So your brain is your own prison. So if you think you're in prison, or if you think you're part of the matrix and can't get out of it, then you are. So break through your own prison. Give thanks for the universe that the sun came up, and that we're still here. Whether you have turkey or not, or sitting with friends, that part doesn't really matter. It's what's in your heart. So maybe on Thanksgiving, I'll just have a thing so people can just get together and have a chat, you know, but and just share. So, but anyway, I love you all. Be safe. Again, have a good Thanksgiving wherever you are. And we're always with you. This soul tribe carries on, you know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So remember, everybody, be the frequency you want to receive. I love you all.
Cheers.
There we go. Another